Now lock in now, laser focus.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Locked In. My name is Megan Holden.
And I'm Sam Rodriguez.
And here we cover the latest and hottest news and debates for the NFL, for the NBA, and the Creighton Young Minds Undiscovered League. For those who don't know, the Creighton Young Minds Undiscovered League is the first replica of basketball training and development in the USA. You guys can watch them usually on the weekends around 12 p.m. We'll give you more on that in a little bit. But first, we want to hit you with our topics of the day. So, first we have a special guest. Can you tell us a little bit about our special guest today, Sam?
All right. So we have host of the IGGY Show, another sports podcaster, Jake Iggy. He goes to school. He's studying sports broadcasting as well. We're looking forward to having him on and hearing his kind of input.
And another Boston fan. I'm excited.
Yeah.
We had some Lakers fans, so I need some even out.
Yeah, too many Boston fans in one room.
So today what we're going to be debating is everyone's talking about Watson's future. But now it's up in the air if he's even going to be traded. We're going to actually talk about a QB that's going to be traded this offseason, and that's Matthew Stafford from the Lions. We're going to talk about where he can go, where he's realistically going to go. We're also going to be talking about realistic NBA trades. There's a lot of rumors out there. What are we really buying? What is the most realistic trade that's going to happen? But to start off, we're going to go with our Creighton Young Minds Undiscovered League. We're going to give a quick recap. But also, which player do we want on our team? If we had to pick one player from the Creighton Young Minds Undiscovered League, a lot of players to take. Which one would best fit our team? But first, I want to get into the latest NBA news. Can you tell me a little bit about the latest NBA news, Sam?
All right. So we've heard a lot, Bradley Beal and such, but I figured today I'd give some good news, some like happy news. We want to hear about that right now. Okay. We got Russell Westbrook moves into 13th in all-time assists with 7,394, passing Maurice Cheeks by 2. And then Joe Ingles, surprisingly enough, set the Jazz franchise record for career threes. I wouldn't expect him to do it of all people, but I mean, good for him. Good for him.
Nice. All right. So we love records here, but now since we're talking about trades on this episode, I'm gonna bring you the latest trade news. So for the NFL, you guys heard about Watson. So latest on Watson is actually the NFL GM, their new GM, and the new head coach both want him to stay on the team. They're not looking to trade him. They actually said he's our QB. He's our QB of the future. Also, talking about another QB, Carson Wentz and Eagles, looks like they are going to experiment and see how it's going to go. They're probably going to listen to offers, but they're probably not going to make any calls. They're looking at their roster completely to see how things go. Now, for our Creighton Young Minds Undiscovered League recap, can you give us the score for the first game? Was Undiscovered 79 versus Phantoms 53. Sam, can you give me some of the numbers for that game?
All right. So sadly, this was the only game of the day they had due to the humidity in the gym. It was like a health thing. Jarrett Henderson almost had a perfect game. He went 10 from 11 from the field, 2 for 2 from the three-point line, and 5 for 7 for the free throw. This man had 29 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals, and a block. He's always the player to watch. He's the main guy out there, the energetic guy, Jetpack J. We all know him. You had Lewis Patterson III, Mr. Trey, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. And then you had Bozovic with 11 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. Pulling up great number, did 3 people in double digits. They looked great out there. And then for the Phenoms, you had Biggie, 7 foot. Let me remind you guys, he's a 7'8" wingspan. That's probably like 3 of me. This man had 14.
3-4.
This man had 14 points, 9 rebounds, and a block. And then Antoine Portley from Fordham University had 18 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, and 3 steals. Again, the score really doesn't say the game, but Jarrett Henderson is just a phenomenal player out there.
Yeah. He also got more scouts written about him, and we're going to talk about that in a second, about which talking about scouts, which player do we want on our team, Celtics and Lakers. But also, I think defense was important in this game for the way it played. You know, Patterson's always going to bring it defensively, and Henderson's the energy guy, so he's going to do all the little things. But I want to get into the debate now. A lot of players you can pick from the Creighton Young Minds Undiscovered League. I mean, we have the dynamic duo we always talk about with Jesse Williams and Brooks. Then we also have Durham, who was always like, we call him Damian Durham or Damian Durham Lillard over here. And then you have Jarrett Henderson, who's always being raved about by scouts, as former NBA player, CJ Carter. There's just so many guys you can pick. But for your Lakers, what you need, tell me what player are you taking out of the cranium mines to fill that
All right.
spot?
So we need a defensive guard. Lakers, we need like a good guard. We have Dennis Schroeder, yes. We need like a backup. Caruso's stepping up to the plate, but he's not really there. I'm honestly saying Michael Lenore. This man, NBA draft prospect this year. He's a great point guard. He can pass the ball well. He can shoot the ball well, and he's there defensively. He's a two-way guard. I think we could use him. He's a good size. That'd fit well with us because we need that extra position. We have Dennis Schroeder, not really known for his defensive abilities, more so his offensive energy. So adding a defensive guard like Mike would honestly make that team maybe 10 times better.
I think Brooks or Patterson will also be a good fit for you. But I told you about this. I said when Bradley left and all them, and you're gonna have problems on the perimeter defense. You're like, no, we're not. We'll be fine. I tried warning you. You never listen to me.
All right, whatever.
All right, I just had to get that in. All right, so for my Celtics, this was a tough one. So my Celtics, the biggest problem right now is reliable shooting, right? When Tatum and Brown are, when they're all on the bench, when you need a rest, who are we going to? Guys are just coming in. We have so many cold spells. So I'm going with the most reliable shooter in the Cranium Line Undiscovered League. This man is Damian Durham, aka Durham, literally like the most reliable 3-point shooter. He's gonna get you points. He hit 8 threes one time straight. Had I think it was 11 points in 1 minute. He's just a scorer. But also, what's important is on the Celtics, you're not gonna get minutes unless you play defense. No. But he brings the defense too. He has great size for a guard. I think I would love to have him on the Celtics. So Danny Ainge, I know you're watching this. right now.
Yeah, Danny Ainge watching us.
Yeah, I know Danny Ainge is watching this. So if you can go to Creating Minds Undiscovered League, we actually have a link there down below to watch them. And just take it there, man. We need the scoring. Please, just send it in. All right. But now to that, we're going to introduce our special guest of the day. We have a fellow podcaster and New Englander, another Boston fan, which I'm happy about. About time. Can you remind anyone who our special guest is for today?
All right. So Jake Iggy is a sports podcaster and the host and founder of the IGGY Sports Talk show. Hey, Iggy, how we doing today?
Just give me 1 second. There we go. I have to get the picture thing up. There we go.
You got it. There we go. How we doing today?
Can you hear us, Iggy?
Oh, we can't hear you.
You got a nice professional setup there. I like it.
I know.
I like it. I'm like little us stand-up mics, and he got the whole professional coming on our show, making us look bad.
Yeah, we still can't hear.
Maybe it's the mic. And NFL on the radar. Talking about Boston versus Lakers tonight, we're gonna actually talk about trying to show our picks, our NBA picks for tonight, weekend picks. I'm excited.
Can you hear me?
Still nothing.
There,
yeah, we can hear you. We got you.
How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you guys? Sorry about that. I had everything tested before the show, and then bam, right when action starts.
That's when it hits you.
That's how it goes. I like the background, though. How you doing today? Thank you for coming on our show.
Appreciate that. My favorite place ever in the world, Heaven 2.0, Fenway Park right behind me. Hopefully can get back there sometime this season. Yeah. And it's funny, too, because even on the Sports Me app, I bet you guys have seen a lot of people are talking about the Red Sox and are they going to be good or not? And, we're hearing all this stuff about the Blue Jays, Yankees, and Rays. And listen, Sox making the playoffs in 2021. They're going to be the third best team in the AL East. They're going to make it. They're going to get the second wild card spot. I'm predicting that right now.
Speaking into existence. Cora's back, so maybe I can't get over the Bex thing, so I'm still salty over that. All right, but let's start off our first debate of the day, right? Now, like I said before, we heard all these Watson rumors, but now it's up in the air if he's even going to get traded. But one guy who's going to be traded for sure this offseason, the Lions, and Matthew Stafford has agreed mutually to part ways this season. He's 33 years old. He has around $33 million in cap hit this year. I want to know, Where is Matthew Stafford playing for 2021 season? And Sam, do you want to start this one off?
All right. So we've been hearing all the 49ers trade rumors and such. I'm not buying into that. I really don't believe that. I honestly think the best fit for him would be the Rams. Jared Goff is not the guy over there. He's not the guy over there. They have a great defense, but Matt Stafford's showing he can be that with certain weapons. And they have some pretty good weapons over there. And what the Rams have to offer, they have a bunch of draft picks this year. They have 3 third-round draft picks. They have a second. And you're not going to give up much for Matt Stafford. He's not a first-round pick quarterback, not even a second. Maybe a couple thirds and a fourth. But I think that'd be a great fit over there. Jared Goff, it'd be a good battle of them two going on. I don't see Jared Goff being the future of that team. We saw this playoffs. He can't do it himself. He's not really there. The defense is phenomenal. Aaron Donald is phenomenal. You don't want to waste that man's years. You want to get him a quarterback who's going to provide for him the way he's providing for that defense.
Okay. So that was your 2 minutes. I got to ask my 30-second rebuttal, though. How are you getting rid of Goff's contract to take on Stafford? Because I doubt you're going to have 2 QBs there that's going to be worth that much. How are you going to get rid of the Goff's contract?
I'm telling you, they'll find a way. If they want to get Matt Stafford over there, they'll find a way. I could see the Lions taking Jared Goff. I could see that happening. It's a big contract. Yeah, Jared Goff should have never deserved that contract, but he's going to have to go somewhere.
You got to pay a high pick to take that contract. I don't see them getting this free exchange. You got to pair some picks to get rid of that contract, and also picks for Stafford. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to debate my little 2 minutes. I'll start it so I won't cheat. All right. So right now the odds is 49ers plus 100. We have Colts plus 350, New England plus 500. You have Denver Broncos plus 600, and Washington 750. I actually think it's going to be between the Colts and New England, given the cap space and the need and what they have. But because of Matt Patricia's now in New England, I'm wondering how that's going to work out with Matthew Stafford and Matt Patricia. I'm not really sure how they got along there. Also, I feel like the Colts have more weapons right now offensively. I know that's not really saying much. The Colts don't really have much, but New England doesn't really have nothing. They have the cap space, yes, but I think they're probably going to go in different directions. They probably want to use that cap space to get the wide receivers and get the other weapons. So I like the Colts the most. I think they have an offensive minded head coach, former offensive coordinator from the Eagles. I said the Colts are either going to get Wentz or Stafford, and I think Stafford's more likely to be traded right now. So I think the Colts with Stafford is a playoff team. I think he gets what he wants because he wants to win, and the Colts get a QB they can have for more than 1 year. So I think it's 1 year all around, and I see them partnering with probably a first or second because I feel like the competition is going to be high for QBs. But now, Iggy, I want you to know.
So
I know you're a Patriots fan. What do you think?
I'm saying the Colts. Quite honestly, I think that if Stafford goes to the Colts, I mean, with Phillip Rivers, we saw throughout this season, like with the Colts, Phillip Rivers did what he had to do. Literally, he was just very mediocre. He wasn't like the Phillip Rivers that we saw obviously earlier in his career because he was going into his later 30s. But when you see what Matt Stafford really did for the Lions, I mean, Dan Orlovsky pretty much just laid it out on the table. The Lions wasted a Hall of Fame career, or a Hall of Fame caliber career. And it's crazy to really just look at the rankings. And I saw something on ESPN a few days ago. He ranks most in passing yards and touchdowns for a quarterback without a playoff win. And so if he goes to the Colts, I feel like with the Colts, he is just that missing piece right there. And, they got T.Y. Hilton. They got Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. But one other team that I think if they just get a quarterback in there, it'll change the whole culture. It'll change really the whole trajectory and potential that this team has is the Denver Broncos. I mean, when you really look at Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, and also like Melvin Gordon, Philip Lindsay, I mean, that offense would be insane. And we all know that defense has gotten it's good, but it obviously wasn't where it used to be. Yeah. But I think like with their cap space and same with Indy. Indy has massive amounts of cap space. So there's a lot of different ways that really the Lions could go with this. But I could see them either it's a stretch to get a first round pick, but I could see them getting like a second or third and then just trying to get off that cap space. But Matthew Stafford only has 2 years left on his contract, $43 million. And in the grand scheme of things, that's very cheap for a quarterback.
Well, I don't I feel like you're getting Sam's hypes up here. Don't get his hypes up, okay? Look, I think the Denver Broncos are still a very young team in the tougher division now, to mention it. They're a very young team, especially defense. They're not what they used to be. So I'm not sure if it's the right timing for Matthew Stafford, who's 33. I feel like they should grow that offense together. So I prefer them to get
Sean Watson.
It's not gonna happen. You don't have the package. All right, so I'm not trying to kill your hopes and dreams, Sam. I'm just trying to be realistic with you, okay? I don't want you to get your hopes up and have your heart broken like a Cowboys fan. But back to Denver Broncos, I see them. My rebuttal there is I can see them go with the younger QB. The Colts. The only thing New England. Now, do you think New England ruined their chances by signing Matt Patricia or bringing back Matt Patricia? So what do you think?
I honestly. Yeah, so I think that Matt Patricia and Matthew Stafford, you know, it just looked from just like the nonverbal communication when you were watching the Lions game that they had an interesting sort of relationship. And with Patricia, I mean, it's something where he should have never left New England. I mean, in the first place, even as a New England fan, I didn't even really think he was that great of a defensive coordinator. I mean, if you remember 3 or 4 years ago, there was the first 5 games where they let up 400 yards. They let up like 400 yards to Alex Smith at 24 years old, and it's something where it's something where with Stafford going to the Pats, I get it, but like the Pats don't really have any weapons for him to really throw to. No. And that is one of the biggest things, especially with Stafford now in his later part of his career. He's going to really rely on that. Like, he has his arm, you know, he has a great ability to be able to make good decisions. But New England, I just don't see them being a good spot for him. Kind of the other spots that you guys talked about, which would be perfect, is Indy, Denver, and San Francisco.
Yeah, see, I don't see – the reason why I don't buy the 49ers thing, because I don't see there's a big gap between Stafford and Jimmy Garoppolo. The only difference between them is Stafford plays through injuries, Jimmy doesn't, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like they're still kind of committed to Jimmy, especially what they gave up, a second-round pick. I don't think they give up Jimmy Garoppolo for Stafford. I think they'd rather draft a backup or get a backup like maybe Fitzpatrick or something in free agency. I don't see them taking another injury-prone QB. So I think Colts.
I can see Jimmy going to the Pats.
See,
true.
Honestly,
yeah,
true.
I could see Jimmy going back to the Pats. I think that's a real good possibility.
He fits that system well.
If they trade, I don't. But do we really want another QB who's injury-prone? Like, is Jimmy Garoppolo still considered like high value? Because like besides one season, he hasn't really played more than half the games.
No, but you got to think about he fits Bill's system though. We saw he fits that system. That system's hard to fit. He's one of the rare quarterbacks that can fit that system and probably make it work with any weapon he has over there. Like he learned from Tom Brady in that system, so it's kind of like a good role model learning from.
All right, I wouldn't hate it. I think we need a QB. I would accept Stafford because he's tough, but I think the Patriots go a little bit younger, a little bit more durable. I'd say the Colts, but a sleeper team none of us mentioned, I think, is Washington football team. I feel like they have the cap space and they also have a good roster. But now, let's go to NFL trades to NBA trades. A lot of rumors out there. You have names like Beal. You have Knicks are looking at Levine. You have Rose. You have John Collins in Atlanta. You have Kelly Oubre, Andre Drummond. Now, I want to know which trade rumor out there is actually the most realistic. Like, what can you actually see happening during the trade deadline, which is March 25th? So, Iggy, do you want to start us off here?
Sure. So I'm thinking Bradley Beal. And one of the main reasons for this, I mean, we've seen it circulating all throughout Twitter, the picture of him with his hands on his face, just looking super frustrated after he scored 47 points and they lost the game. And just a quick stat, he's the only player in history to have 10 straight losses when scoring over 40 points. And it's really interesting, really looking at sort of that Westbrook trade to Washington. I had a lot of hopes in it, but it's interesting to see how really anywhere Westbrook goes, he can't work with anybody. It just is not going to work out. And the main reason why I say Beal as well is somebody asked him if he was frustrated, and he responded, "Is the sky blue?" So I think that's a huge indication that he's just ready to get out of Washington. A few places I could see him going, maybe the Atlanta Hawks, Mavericks, Nuggets. I could see those being some really good places for him. We saw, actually, interestingly enough, Trae Young score 40 points to beat the Wizards just a few days ago. And I think if Beal can help out Trey a little bit and help him with that time management and also just another scoring partner, the Hawks are a real good playoff contender.
All right, so before I put my rebuttal, what would be the trade package if it goes to the Hawks? If you think, do you think that's the team?
Yeah, I mean, I could honestly see. Yeah, I could see that. But they're gonna have to give up a few first-round picks. I mean, Beal is just playing unreal. You know, the Wizards also said that they will not trade him to a team that he doesn't think that will be able to sign him to an extension. I guess they had a verbal agreement that if they did trade him, he would be traded to a team that he would prefer. And so how that really plays out, and if like we do see a trade in place and Beal's like, no, I don't want to go there, that'd be kind of interesting. I don't know if you guys remember Brown to the Bills and that whole debacle, but it'd be interesting if something like that similar happens.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna give a 30-second rebuttal to that before I start my 2 minutes. For Atlanta, I'm not sure if that would be the best fit. Now you're talking about a great offensive backcourt, right? But probably the worst defensive backcourt in all of NBA. They'll be getting probably 80 between two of them, but giving up around the same. Now, I will have to say though, but really Beal, like you mentioned, there's a good relationship between him and the franchise. But it seems the reason why I'm not buying that rumor is because it seems like he still has a little bit of hope. I don't know why. With the organization, he's saying that he wants to stay, but he's just tired of losing. And I don't feel sorry for him. There's a lot of people who feel sorry for him, but he signed that extension. Everyone knew, like the Wizards, they don't have much cap space. You know, they have the draft picks, but it's like everyone knew that they won't be they're not that bad to be last, and they don't really have much to go anywhere. You know, it's gonna take a while to turn this franchise around, especially in the East. So my 2 minutes is the reason why I'm not buying the Beal rumor. I'm not buying Levine. I think the Bulls, that's their main franchise point. That's how they're selling. Well, they're selling tickets right now, but getting attention. I think they have a young roster too. They're trying to stick with it. I'm not buying the Drummond or Blake Griffin because I feel like their contracts are too big and not playing up for the contract. I think he's going to wait for the buyout. But what I am buying is that the Pelicans are going to go on a fire sale before the deadline. I feel like Lonzo Ball, JJ Redick, and Bledsoe will probably be all different teams. Lonzo, I'm looking at the Bulls, right? They can use a pass first point guard there. I know the 3-point shooting is going to be suspect there in the backcourt with him and Levine. But at least you're going to have two guys who can create off. Lonzo's becoming a little better shooter. But I wouldn't trust him on 3. But I feel like you got guys that can still kind of create offense for others. And you have a great defensive backcourt. JJ Redick, I can see him going to a team maybe like the Clippers or a playoff contending team. He actually has a big down slope here. 33 field goal percentage and 29 from 3. I don't think he is going to have that the rest of the season. I think this is probably be a dry spell. I'll say I would love to have him on the Celtics. I'm just not sure if because defense is so big here in the Celtics, you have to be able to play defense and get minutes. I'm not sure if they pull that move for a trade-up session. And I also see Bledsoe going to another contender. I can see the Pelicans packaging on more picks like they did this offseason. Now, how about you, Sam? Who you giving to your Lakers? I feel like this is going to be.
No, it's actually no one to the Lakers. All right.
Okay.
So we're actually going to be in Chicago for this one.
Okay.
We saw Lauri Markkanen and the Bulls could not reach a contract extension. Mm-hmm. He's set to enter free agency this year. And the Celtics have a big trade exception left. I could see them getting Lauri Markkanen by the trade deadline. They have that trade exception from that Gordon Hayward, about $34 million, if I'm wrong. Lauri Markkanen didn't sign back with the extension with the Bulls, so are they going to get rid of him or just let him walk? I think if they tell by March that it doesn't look like he's going to resign, he's gone. Because you might as well get something back. He's a phenomenal player. People sleep on him due to being in Chicago. His skill set for a player of his size is immaculate. And the Celtics have a hole in their front court. They need something. And I feel like adding him, he has the size and he can shoot the ball and spread the floor. Who they give up? Maybe a couple draft picks. And I hate to say it, but I feel like someone would have to go.
Don't do it.
Not Tatum.
No,
maybe
but don't say
Marcus Smart or Jaylen Brown.
You did it.
Someone has to go. Someone has to go.
The nerve.
They could even package. They could Daniel Tice, couple draft picks, and then maybe Jeff Teague or something.
No,
But getting Lauri Markkanen over there would be a phenomenal thing for the Celtics, no matter who you're losing. I'm telling you right now, that'd be a great fit.
Don't think I don't know what you're trying to do. Okay, you're just trying to make us weaker. Jaylen Brown is actually one of the top players right now. Marcus Smart is the heart and soul of the team. Oh, we will riot if Marcus Smart is traded.
Yeah,
okay?
but you got to think you need that big man. You need that big man, and Lauri Markkanen is a phenomenal one.
He's not the one we need, though. We need rebounding and defense interior. But I will say this, though. Markkanen, I'm not sure if they go in the direction of another young player because they already have such a young team. I think they're looking for a vet to bring experience and liability, right? I'm not sure if they want another young player who wants to get the start. And then because you got Tatum and Brown there, you don't want another situation where guys are fighting for the ball, fighting for starship, wants to be the number 1 or number 2 guy. You already have your 1 and 2 place, and you got your 3 with Kemba. So the guy, whoever's coming, will have to be okay with being number 4. So, no, do not try to sweet talk. I'm going to give the Celtics something because I know what you're really trying to do.
No, it'd be a good fit. I'm telling you, like having Kemba and Jeff Teague would be fine.
Jaylen Brown
and Jeff Teague would be fine. All right, then Marcus Smart.
No, we're not doing that either. We're not.
I'm telling you, that'd be a great fit. That lineup: Kemba, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Lauri Markkanen, and Tristan Thompson. That'd be a phenomenal lineup right there if they meshed well together.
We're losing defense there, though. I would say this though. I think Lauri Markkanen is actually. I bring up the Lonzo Ball thing, right? I think that might be a trade for Lonzo Ball. Obviously, the Pelicans, they have plenty of firsts. They probably have to package a couple picks. But Lonzo and a first for Lauri Markkanen. The Bulls get, the guard, and they get some cap relief for the future. Even though Lonzo's a first free agent, but he's not going to cost much, Lauri Markkanen. And then Pelicans get another young piece. So that fits. That's a fit. Don't try my Celtics.
I'm trying to make you guys better. I'm trying to help you guys out here.
Before we move on, Iggy, what do you think of what he was trying to do? Do you buy that? How do you like
the
that
whole
trade?
Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown? People have been trying to predict that they're going to get out of Boston, and Danny Ainge loves Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart and Jason Tatum. Those 3 are going to be sticking with the Celtics. We're going to see them for the next 5 years or so. But I think it's something that you guys are bringing up is interesting because, just think about what happened with the Bulls right after they traded Jimmy Butler. It's really interesting to see how their rebuild really hasn't done anything. Remember Chris Dunn? You brought up Markkanen. I mean, it's something where like you see these teams like package up all these first-round picks, and you're like, wow, this team is going to contend in the next 4 to 5 years, and we haven't heard anything. And they got really lucky with Zach LaVine. Thank God Zach LaVine is really starting to flourish for them. But it's really easy to think that Jimmy Butler literally got traded 6-7 years ago, and what have the Bulls done? Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think so. You're trying to say maybe Lauri Markkanen probably die over there if he goes to the Bulls. But now we go into debates. I want to focus on you, Iggy. I want to know our first question of the day. Tell us more about your podcast and how they came about.
So my podcast, IGGY Sports Talk. So I go to school at Plymouth State University. I actually move in tomorrow to my spring semester of my senior year. And I actually changed my major completely my junior year. I was studying business and sales and was trying to think of like really what I wanted to do for a job. And nothing really got me excited. Nothing really made me passionate other than just sports and talking about sports. Yep. And at my college, there was no places for me to really get any experience or really in the surrounding areas that like I live in. There's no like real networks very close to me or really a lot of opportunities for me to be able to get experience like other people were able to. And unfortunately, like the 1 year, one summer that I really had to be able to get an internship or anything like that, COVID hit. And so I decided to really make my own experience by just starting this podcast, weekly talking about sports. And then it kind of became something where I tried to get more into interviews and just building relationships with like athletes and that sort of stuff. Because that's honestly the main reason why I'm into all this stuff is getting closer to the game that I love and talking to the people that get to do things that I've always dreamed of doing.
I like it. So we can relate to that. Sam, I know you have a question for him.
Yeah, so we're speaking on, you just said you wanted to make a relationship with players and such. Do you have a dream guest you'd like to have on?
Yeah, so for dream guess in terms of just like a reporter, it would be Jared Carrabis, the Red Sox and baseball reporter for Barstool Sports. And then for a player, it'd be Dustin Pedroia. Growing up, Dustin Pedroia was my idol. It was my role model. All throughout like playing baseball, I actually didn't make my middle school baseball team because I was too small. I'm like, all right, that's great. And I'm like, I can hit the ball.
I know the feeling.
Because of my size. Yeah, and so I see Pedroia out there just playing his heart out at 5'11", and yeah, he really motivated me to keep on working hard, and I think it'd be really cool to talk to him about his sort of last 3 years where he's been injured and hasn't really been able to be close to the game that he loves really at all, and just in terms of how I want him to say goodbye is I can't say bye to Dustin Pedroia from a podium. He can't be sitting in front of a microphone and saying, I'm going to retire. No, the Red Sox need to just put him in the game as a DH for 1 inning, just allow him to walk up to the plate, tip his cap, and whatever. He hits a little dribbler. He hits a bunt. I don't care. Just have him like, even if he doesn't run to first base, I don't care. Just allow him to tip his cap to Fenway Park. That's all I want. That's all I care about.
Yeah, he deserves it for the stuff he's done.
How long he's been there too is just that commitment. Just you gotta appreciate that guy staying on one team for their whole career. But now I want to know before we go into our quick NBA picks, the Super Bowl is coming up, so I want to know what's your Super Bowl pick, who you got, and what's the score.
So my Super Bowl pick, I'm going Patty Mahomes. I think the Chiefs are. I think the Chiefs are going to win it. He just always finds a way to win. He always does. Yep. And I love Tom. I love Tom with all my heart, but I can't lie that he broke my heart when he left. And I'm still not over it. And anytime I watch him in those red jerseys, I just feel like I want to throw up. And it's funny because like all my friends are all over, and they're like, "Why are you still upset?" And you should be happy that he's in the Super Bowl. I'm like, yeah, but I want him in the Super Bowl in red, white, and blue. Like, I don't want him on another team. And I get it. It's just, I'm 22 years old. He's the only quarterback I've ever seen, I've ever loved. And I think just in terms of the Super Bowl and especially how he played last week, I honestly think that the Packers deserve to be in the Super Bowl after his 3 picks. And he really wasn't that great. I could see the score. I could see it being a pretty high scoring game, but ultimately it's going to be a regular Patty Mahomes 2-minute comeback where the Chiefs are down like 7 points or whatever, and the last 2 minutes or 1 minute, and Patty Mahomes just drives them down the field.
Interesting how the tables turn. That usually was like Brady's go-to that we do like 2 minutes. Okay, Brady got the ball. Let's get close enough to hit the field goal. Interesting. That's interesting. I think it's going to be a close, high-scoring game though too. Now. You're not getting away here scot-free, Sam. I want to know NBA picks. I mentioned the Celtics and Lakers later today, so I'm going to go quick NBA picks. Quick Rockets versus Pelicans. Who you got? Who wants to go first? I'll jump in. I'll go Pelicans. Actually, I'll take that back. I think the Rockets have actually a pretty good lineup. It's just they have to obviously get comfortable playing together. But the Pelicans, they pulled an upset yesterday against the Bucks. So I think they're capable. It's just they don't get together. I'm not really sure what's really wrong with them. So I have the Rockets. So you guys have them quick.
I'll go Pelicans in that.
Okay. Iggy, who you taking?
Pelicans.
You going Pelicans? Okay. Trade. All right, we got Blazers at the Bulls.
Blazers at where?
Blazers at Chicago versus Bulls.
I got Blazers.
All right, yeah, I had to go my MVP pick. I had at the beginning of the year, Damian Lillard. He's starting to do better. He's got off to a rough start. Starting to do better here. I need him to go off this game. Also for my fantasy lineup. So I actually have the Blazers because I think also they're scoring. I'm not sure if the Bulls can keep up. What you got, Iggy?
Blazers as well. Honestly, Melo has been really impressing me. When I've just been looking at some of the highlights, I've been seeing Melo putting up like 25 points. I'm like, wait, I forgot you were in your late 30s. Where have you been?
Yeah, this is the perfect fit for him. I feel like the Blazers. He doesn't have the pressure of being number 1 guy anymore either. Kings versus Heat.
Right.
I know the Heat's been struggling without Jimmy, but I think they have enough here to beat the Kings. What do you guys think?
I don't know. De'Aaron Fox has been looking amazing.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go with the Kings being a sleeper win this game. De'Aaron Fox.
Okay, who you got, Iggy?
I like that. I like the Kings. I think it's really cool how the Kings have really turned things around. Because like just in the last like 5 years, all they would do is just spend massive amounts of money on like veteran players, thinking that they're going to somehow get them over the hump.
Yeah.
And I can't even believe they got Halliburton as late as they did. I was watching it with one of my good friends who knows all the college players. He's like, wait, why is Halliburton still on the board? Like, this is crazy.
I remember the DeMarcus Cousins days where they kept trying to get him to stay and make him happy, but that didn't work out. Anyways, the Bucks at the Hornets. I know the Bucks got upset against them, but I know Hornets are pretty, Ball is doing pretty good over there. Hayward's doing pretty good over there. But I think the Bucks take this.
Yeah, the Bucks should take that easily the way they're stacked. But this season, the Bucks have not looked like the Bucks we know. Giannis has not looked like MVP Giannis last season. Shouldn't have won it, by the way.
I knew you were going to take this opportunity to throw that in to attack Giannis. All right, who you got there, Amy?
I'm going Bucks. I mean, I like how the Hornets have really sort of come into their own, and we're seeing Hayward, Rozier, and Ball really starting to work well together. But they're just not up to the caliber that the Bucks are right now.
No.
Yeah, I agree. They need more experience, more time. What I wanted to get to. Lakers versus Celtics. I'm going. You know what? We're finally healthy. We are finally healthy, and we look. As long as we don't have a dry spell, I'm taking the Celtics. You
don't have any bigs. No one's gonna stop AD. LeBron's as tall as Daniel Tice. Lakers and
Taco Fall.
Yeah, Taco Fall.
No, but that's a good point. I think Davis is gonna go off, so put him in your fantasy team. I just think the Celtics. Defensively, they're gonna do something. They're gonna find something defensively. They're gonna do something. Either it's gonna play zone or stack the middle. But
it's gonna be Celtics guards versus Lakers bigs. Whoever pulls off the most. That's what it's gonna be.
Well, that's like Celtics history right there. Lakers bigs always go against either Celtics forwards. But who you got, Iggy?
I'm going with the C's. And it's kind of funny, Sam. You brought up who's gonna guard AD because. A month or so ago on Sports Meet, it was Celtics fans versus Lakers fans, and this Celtics fan said, "What are you talking about? Tristan Thompson can block AD all day." And, oh my God, the Lakers fans about it, like, "What are you talking about, you idiot?" Like, oh my God, now it's just like a running joke that Tristan Thompson can get guarded.
Yeah. No, Tristan Thompson can maybe cover Wesley Matthews, but.
And he's not. I'll even say it's not even a perfect fit right now. It's not really working out as planned, especially with Tice and Tristan Thompson in the same lineup. It's not looking too good. But I still have faith in my Celtics. So going to that, we'll go to last one. Grizzlies versus Spurs. I have the Spurs.
Grizzlies.
Okay.
I'm going with the Spurs. The Spurs.
That's experience there. All right, Suns versus Mavericks. This is gonna be a nice game.
Suns.
I think I'm going with Suns. I think they have a more complete team.
They look great.
Who you got, Iggy?
I'm going with the Suns, and it's really cool after these last 5 to 10 years. Especially, thank God, Devin Booker is actually getting some help, and it's still crazy to me that he's only 23 years old. 23, and if they're able to continue to build up this team, and Ayton is going to continue to step up and develop as well, and all these picks that really weren't doing really anything are finally starting to work out for the Suns.
Well, they're going to be a scary team. They're going to be a scary team.
I said Chris Paul was the best pickup in this offseason, and I still think that's really true. I think the fit there was perfect. All right, lastly, we got Detroit Pistons, the bad boy Pistons, not just bad Pistons now, versus the Warriors. I know the Warriors is hot and cold, but I trust them here to score a lot more points. So I'm going, even though the Pistons, had some upsets, but I'll go Golden State here.
Yeah, I'll go with my MVP pick, Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors.
All right, gotta throw that in there. He's actually looking at that like a bad pick right now. All right, who you got, Iggy?
I'm going with the Warriors because other than Griffin, the Pistons don't really have too much help over there.
No.
I agree. I don't know what they were doing this offseason. They got a bunch of big men, a bunch of players that feel like they have something to prove. I I don't think it was a great fit.
They need a full rebuild. Get rid of Blake Griffin, give him a chance somewhere else, and just restart fresh.
Well, we talked about that. I think they're gonna try to maybe buy some guys out depending on the contract. I think I can see RJ Drummond getting bought out. But I want to thank you so much, Iggy, for joining us today. It was fun having you on the show. If you just want to plug in your podcast here, where can people find your podcast?
So people can find IGGY Sports Talk on Apple Podcasts and also Spotify. But I post every single day on Instagram and Twitter at IGGY Sports Talk.
Yes, and we'll put all that information in the comments below. You could also find the Crane Young Minds Undiscovered League we'll put that in the comments below too. The next game is February 6th. Thank you guys for tuning in today, and we'll see you next Friday. Actually, at 3 p.m. We're changing our times now. Thank you guys, and stay safe.